The airplane cabin buzzed with the usual pre-flight chaos. Passengers in economy class shuffled down the narrow aisle, stowing luggage into overhead bins while exchanging hurried conversations. A mother struggled to calm her toddler who clutched a stuffed animal tightly, while a group of college students joked loudly about their weekend plans. Overhead, the flight attendants directed traffic with practiced smiles, ensuring everyone found their seats. Amid the commotion, a sharply dressed businessman glanced at his boarding pass, frowning as he realized he was seated in economy. With an irritated sigh, he moved toward his seat, silently lamenting his predicament of being surrounded by ordinary people. Amid the pre-flight commotion, Keanu Reeves sat quietly by the window, blending seamlessly into the economy class crowd. Dressed in a simple black hoodie and jeans, with his long hair tucked behind his ears, he looked like an ordinary traveler. His calm demeanor stood in stark contrast to the bustling cabin. Nearby, a sharply dressed businessman arrived at his seat, clearly annoyed to be in economy. The businessman barely glanced at Keanu, dismissing him as just another unremarkable passenger. What he didn't realize was that the unassuming man sitting beside him was someone far more extraordinary than he could imagine. The businessman, clearly annoyed by his seat in economy, couldn't resist making snide remarks. Glancing at Keanu, he smirked and said, "Economy, huh? Must be tough not making enough to upgrade." Keanu turned to him with a calm smile, replying simply, "Something like that." Encouraged by Keanu's modest response, the businessman continued, "Let me guess, you're some struggling artist. Maybe focus more on work and less on dreaming." Around them, passengers exchanged uncomfortable glances, but Keanu remained composed, his serene demeanor unshaken. Little did the businessman know, he had just underestimated someone who was far more accomplished than himself. As the plane prepared for takeoff, Keanu noticed a young boy across the aisle gripping his armrests, his face pale with fear. The boy's mother whispered reassurances, but his anxiety was clear. Keanu reached into his pocket, pulled out a pack of gum and offered it to the boy with a kind smile. "Chew this. It'll help your ears during takeoff," he said softly. The boy hesitated before taking it, his tense grip easing slightly. Nearby, the businessman scoffed, muttering, "What are you, a babysitter?" Keanu ignored the comment, his focus on comforting the boy, leaving passengers quietly impressed by his kindness. As the flight settled, a young boy across the aisle stared at Keanu, whispering to his mom, "That's the guy from the movies!" His excited exclamation caught the attention of nearby passengers, who began murmuring. Phones emerged, confirming the boy's claim. Slowly, the cabin buzzed with the realization. They were sitting with Keanu Reeves. When the businessman awkwardly apologized, Keanu smiled gently. "Respect shouldn't depend on titles or appearances," he said. "Everyone deserves kindness." His words resonated throughout the cabin, prompting nods of agreement from passengers. Keanu's humility and grace turned an uncomfortable encounter into a powerful reminder of the importance of treating everyone with dignity. As the plane landed, the businessman turned to Keanu, humbled. "Thank you, you've given me a lot to think about," he said sincerely. Keanu smiled, replying, "Pay it forward." Passengers disembarked, carrying not just their belongings, but also a renewed sense of kindness, inspired by Keanu's quiet wisdom and humility. As the plane touched down, the atmosphere in the cabin had shifted, conversations flowed more freely, and passengers exchanged smiles. Inspired by Keanu Reeves' humility and kindness, the businessman, once brimming with arrogance, now sat quietly, reflecting on his behavior. He turned to Keanu and said, "Thank you for your patience. I've learned a lot." Keanu responded with a calm smile, "Just pay it forward. That's what really matters." And then he came back to Chris and responded with a calm smile. He's been great. It's kind of sad." As passengers gathered their belongings, the young boy Keanu had comforted earlier waved and said, "You're my hero." Keanu smiled warmly, replying, "Always be kind." The lesson lingered with everyone long after they left the plane. Please subscribe to the channel to hear more amazing stories in the future. Thank you so much for your support.